Welcome to the latest episode of Branding the Experience, where we discuss ways where we can create environments where employees actually want to come to work and customers want to keep coming back. Hi, I'm Ken Bader, your host for Branding the Experience. I'm also the founder of Bader Training and Consulting and the author of the book, The Formula for Business Success equals B plus C plus S, a discussion on brand, culture, and strategy alignment. And our subject today is how do we sell an experience rather than just a product? And it's an extension of my conversation last week in the last episode with E3 Image Group's founder, Rob Evans, when I asked him if you could give one piece of advice, what would it be? And in a nutshell, he said, write down a vision statement. That vision statement needs to revolve around the consumer, customer, client, member experience. It's the where we're headed, but the where we're headed with the customer in mind. And I'll give you an example. Let's take a look at restaurants. Well, restaurants, the last I look, have about a 95% failure rate. Can you imagine that? Say if you were a baseball player and you were batting .050. Not 500, not 150, but .050, that was your batting average. You wouldn't probably last too long in that sport. So if you're a restaurateur opening up restaurants with a 95% fail rate, you probably need to find another career. But the question is, why do 95% of restaurants fail? Well, there's a number of reasons. There's cost management, there's employee engagement, there's a number of things, but I believe that one of the number one, if not the number one reason restaurants fail is they focus on providing food rather than providing an experience. Case in point, one of my favorite places to go is Forbidden City. It's a very casual Chinese restaurant and bar. Now, that in and of itself doesn't sound that exciting, but their vision statement is to be your favorite restaurant, not to have the best food, not to have your favorite flavors, not to be the best restaurant in the city, but to be your favorite restaurant. And what that means is an experience that includes the food, not just the food. So, case in point with Forbidden City, I'm not a fan of Chinese food. It's nothing wrong with it. It's just not for my palate. I don't seek out Chinese food. It's not what I generally will eat on a daily or weekly basis. But I love Forbidden City. And there's many times my wife and I are thinking, it's like, well, where would you like to go tonight? And I never say, I really have a taste for Chinese food. But many times I'll say, I just want to relax tonight. Let's go to Forbidden City. Now, don't get me wrong. The food is good. Maybe not great, but it certainly is good. And I'm certainly not disparaging the food. But remember, again, I am not a Chinese food fan. But I found a few things on the menu that I do like. Everything is fresh and well made, but I would think that even the most avid restaurateur would probably say that Forbidden City doesn't have the best food in town. They certainly have good food. It's fresh food. It's not made with MSG. There's certainly some positives there, but I can rattle off at least, and I do mean at least, a dozen places where if I'm starving, that I'd rather go for food, especially if it was quick food or fast food. But I enjoy going to Forbidden City. It is one of my favorite restaurants because of the overall experience. They have very good pricing. They have great service. I've never had a bad experience with service, whether I've sat at the table or sat at the bar. They have an atmosphere that's conducive to relaxing and having a conversation. The owners very frequently will greet you and say hello and talk to you and welcome you to their place. They're very accommodating. They have entertainment, live entertainment, some good jazz, some good music, good live music, nothing ridiculous. Everything is laid out properly. They even make the best of the view that they have outside of the restaurant. all of that creates an experience that makes me want to come back to that place. Now, to use another example, there's a restaurant not too far away from Forbidden City, I would say about 3-4 miles, that does have food that's at the top of my list. Really great steaks, really, really good fish, even though I'm not a fish eater. I've heard they've had really good fish and great specials. Definitely a great place for food. But it's rare that I go there because not only is it expensive, it's expensive for the experience that I get because, frankly, the service there, and again, I won't mention their name because it's my policy to not mention a name of a business unless it's going to be a positive example. We're not here to disparage any particular businesses or organizations, just simply to use them as an example so that we know what not to do and maybe do it a little bit better. So this place that has phenomenal food, a 10 out of 10, or at least a 9.5 out of 10, is a place that I don't frequent because not only is it expensive, but also the service is inconsistent. There have been some times where I've had a service that is equal to the price that I would pay, and other times where it's just been very hit and miss. It's been slow, maybe even borderline rude in some cases. So in that particular instance, it's an experience that frankly keeps me away from that particular business. So that is the next step. When thinking of a vision statement, think of the experience your customer, your target market is going to have with that particular service or product. That will help you to not just sell a product, but to provide an experience that keeps people coming back. Whether it's a restaurant or an example I used several weeks ago, Long Beach Jerky Company. Great product that also caters to creating a specific experience. And also another example that I've given you, which is Renewal by Andersen, where I've got my front and back doors, probably the most expensive front and back doors I've ever paid for, but a no-nonsense experience from step one all the way to the last step in doing business with them. In that case, and in all these cases, I bought an experience, not just food, not just jerky, not just doors, but an experience that was second to none. Thank you for spending some time with me today, and here's hoping that you're branding the experience at a high level for your customers, members, clients, and consumers. Take care.